This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a daily wrestling news update. It was confirmed on Raw tonight what I'd already reported in one of my Wrestling Observer reviews, that it's going to be Drew McDonald against Randy Orton at SummerSlam this year. SummerSlam is apparently going to take place in some type of unique locations. It's not going to be in Boston, but Vince McMahon apparently is going to try and make it different. We have seen that AEW has allowed some fans into their shows recently, some real fans. Pat Miletich recently had a kickboxing fight in Iowa in front of about 3,500 fans. So technically they could actually do an event in front of fans if they wanted to, but I guess it's going to be revealed what the idea is to make a rather bland SummerSlam more interesting. It's funny, Mick Foley, the former WWE superstar, tweeted apparently last week that he can't wait to see Drew McDonald in front of fans so he can get a Road Warrior pop. Drew McDonald will never get a Road Warrior pop. I guarantee you that 100%. He is not cool. He's nowhere near the level of over that the Road Warriors were. That's actually a huge slap in the face to the Road Warriors to say that. Apparently, Edge and Daniel Bryan are now members of WWE Creative, and apparently they have a significant role with WWE Creative. There is a lot of people involved in this creative process. It's nice to see them bringing in more wrestlers. Hopefully they can help. Apparently 2.3 million less people are watching SmackDown now than when the show actually started on Fox. It hasn't even been on Fox a year, and there's already 2.3 million less people watching. DDT and Pro Wrestling NOAH have apparently merged because both companies were struggling financially, and they feel a merger is going to make them stronger. The few clips I've seen of DDT, I might be mistaken, but it's of wrestlers wrestling blow-up dolls and all kinds of bizarre crap. I'm not a fan at all. Chris Jericho has said he is not going to come back to WWE anytime soon. He's really enjoying himself in AEW. He's supposedly making huge money in AEW too, and he has a lot of control there, getting guys like his buddy Dr. Luther hired and having creative control on a lot of things. And he gets to be the big star in AEW. He's the main reason why a lot of people watch. So I don't blame him for being there and enjoying it, not wanting to go back somewhere where he would have less control and wouldn't necessarily be the biggest star in the company, because they got guys like Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton in WWE. A couple questions. Hurricane Maverick says, hey. Brian Wayne says, hey. Hurricane Maverick says, you mean Summer Joke instead of SummerSlam? Yeah. Malk Long says he loves my channel. Thank you. Mirrored says I used a picture of when Edge had the dumb short hair. Yeah. It was just a picture I found of Edge and Daniel Bryan together. Midnight Rider, is Edge's neck okay now? Well, he was cleared to wrestle again. He took many years off. He was treated by the best. So, yeah. Stephen Jones says Drew McDonald can't even get a Jinder Mahal pop. It's true. I thought it was funny that Drew McDonald was, or I always get his name wrong, Drew McIntyre, was making fun of Jinder Mahal not having the success as WWE champion that he's had. But Jinder Mahal was getting way better ratings. And Drew McDonald hasn't wrestled in front of a paid crowd yet. So how can he say he was more successful than Jinder Mahal? In my opinion, he's way less successful. Raw has had some of its all-time lowest ratings with him as champion, like considerably lower, a huge, massive amount lower than when Jinder Mahal was champion. So that's a load of bull crap. People are excited for the potential upcoming Virgil interview. I'm also interviewing Conan and Taylor Hendricks this week. I did an interview with Carrie Casey from Project Camelot in the UFO world today. And just so you guys know, for the people that care about my UFO videos, and there's a lot of them on there, some of them have over 500,000 hits. I don't necessarily agree with what all of them say, but with these UFO people, you really have to come to your own conclusions, do your own research. I'm just putting it out there. I'm interested in the subject. Maverick Alexander says DDT is a joke. They're well known for their blow up dolls. That's where Kenny Omega started all that crap. I don't like the crap that Kenny Omega does. Not at all. And that's why I don't watch it. I think that Jim Cornette must secretly be a huge fan of Kenny Omega. There's rumors that Cornette is bisexual, into that kind of stuff. There's a lot of rumors Kenny Omega is bisexual. He incorporates a lot of sexual stuff into his matches, kisses men and so forth. I don't have any problem if you're bisexual, by the way. But I'd rather see that stuff or keep it on Pornhub for the people that want to search it on Pornhub and not put it into wrestling. Same with heterosexual sexual stuff in wrestling. So that's why I don't watch those kind of matches because when I watch wrestling, I'd rather see wrestling. But as I said yesterday in one of my updates, it's not the same wrestling that I liked in the 80s and 90s. Therefore, I don't torture myself watching it because I got better things to do with my time. The Real Frisco, I had a really bad experience with Tatanka, both wrestling him and dealing with him. I will never interview him. I don't like him. He's extremely arrogant, among other reasons, in my opinion. Joker Jack can't wait for the Conan interview. Ares says, I can't handle the Jinder, but I can screw the Drew, sorry. I actually like Jinder Mahal. We used to be very close friends in Calgary. I'll do a whole video about Jinder Mahal sometime. But I actually like Jinder Mahal. And you guys wouldn't even, I'm not even going to tell you some of the stuff I know about him because I don't want to get him in any type of trouble. But let's just say he had a lot of really great connections back in the Calgary days. Joe Dirt says he wishes he could send Kenny Omega and the dude that does the penis flips back in time and make them get in the ring with Bob Roop or Bruiser Brody. They wouldn't have been well, you know what? Kenny Omega would have just had a different style. He still would have been in the business, I think, because I'm not denying that he's talented. I just don't like all the stuff he does. Joey Ryan, I don't think would have been in the business in the older days because he wouldn't have lasted. He just would have been weeded out like a lot of them. Kevin Owens is another one that never would have made it in the older days because when you would be a stooge in the older days, you would get weeded out pretty damn fast. Ronnie Las Vegas tipped me $10, says Kenny Omega, like a lot of other wrestlers, wrestle as if there's no brain damage being inflicted in the ring. It's not like you're going 40 minutes diving, kicking each other in the head. No psychology. I agree, Ronnie Las Vegas. It looks too choreographed and they take way too much. That was one of the things I didn't like about the few minutes I saw of Jericho versus Orange Cassidy a few weeks ago. Just that such a small guy was bumping around Jericho. It was just so unbelievable. That's one of the problems I have with that style of wrestling. The Centennial says Marks give Jinder all the shit, but he was the most improved out of anyone in 3MB. I agree. I wouldn't rate the other two guys. I would definitely rate Jinder over both of those guys for sure. True Sinister says it doesn't matter how big or tough looking Drew is. Does the way he hits Claymore hits count for anything? I'll be honest. The last clip I saw of Drew would have been a brief part of him wrestling Bobby Lashley. And it's not his wrestling that I have the issue with. It's him continuously, every interview he does, talking about the WWE family, where they can fire you at any moment, as all those people that were fired back in April found out, and that we're all friends backstage. And he likes to tell stories every damn interview he does. That's why I have an issue with him, because I don't think that fans should constantly be reminded that it's predetermined. It's frustrating to deal with. Stephen Jones says New Japan Pro Wrestling sucks. 1,000 moves and none of them do any selling. I haven't seen any New Japan at all, really. Just not interested in it. Joker Jack says one of the things I hate about AEW, the majority of the roster is too small. It's like 2 hours of 205 live with less talented wrestlers. Rumar Spencer, do I feel time has passed the big show by in pro wrestling? He's been around since 1995 or 2020 now. So that's 25 years. I don't know if he's getting the ratings he used to get. I haven't seen him. I don't have any issues with the big show, but he doesn't make me want to tune in anymore or even watch his matches on YouTube. But I have nothing against him. He had his time, as you mentioned, in wrestling, and he had some good accomplishments in wrestling. People keep asking for a Nails interview. It looks like the border is going to be closed for a while here. So I'm stuck doing Skype interviews, and I highly doubt Nails has the ability to do a Skype interview. For the people, by the way, there were some Canadians that were offended the other day. Someone asked me when am I moving to the US, and I said whenever I can get the working papers to do so. And they're all trying to tell me, well, just move to British Columbia because the weather's a little better there. How is that going to solve my problems when the border gets shut and I can't do in-person interviews? Because I'll be honest, I like doing interviews, but I'm bored as hell of doing the Skype interviews. They're just not as fun as the normal interviews. I like going on the trips. I feel that I have a better connection with the wrestlers in person, and I feel I can edit the interviews together better, but I do what I can with Mike Dale says move to California, Fremont, California. I want to move to Arizona where I'm right near California and Nevada, and I can easily travel to California. Just say I'm a refugee from Canada. Someone says that's funny. Maybe, but I'd rather do it the proper way so I can actually, when I go there, go permanently. If Court Bauer or MLW want to hire me for some role, that would allow me to move to the US a lot faster because I'd have the ability to apply for a work visa faster. Otherwise, the way I'm going to have to do it is switch my company to a American company. Constipated in Sin City says, interview exotic Adrian Street. I have interviewed him. Search it up on here. Exotic Adrian Street, the Hannibal TV. True Sinister says he really wishes Tony Khan would stay quiet and play in the background. He's never said or did anything that make him or AEW look good or cool for that matter. I agree. He likes to compare himself to Eric Bischoff. I may not be the biggest Eric Bischoff fan, but Tony Khan is no Eric Bischoff. Richard Mins, do I know Luther from AEW? No. The only thing I know about him is I guess it's some rib on me that Chris Jericho is telling him to call himself the original Death Dealer when I was using Hannibal the Death Dealer since 2014, and I could kick that guy's ass. It wouldn't even be a fight how badly I could kick that guy's ass. But I actually, speaking of which, I already did one workout today. I'm heading out for my next workout because I'm training hard. I'm loving being back in the gym. And I got to be prepared to kick anyone's ass because I got a lot of people talking shit about me that would probably never say shit about me to my face. But just in case I am attacked, I want to be ready. And I'm feeling great. I'm putting my strength and size back on. My cardio is better than ever. So thanks for all your comments, everybody. Jonathan Coleman, have I had TNA matches? I've had a few. I'm really back in 2007. I would have gone to TNA. Yeah, I wanted to feud with Abyss. That didn't work out. The company is not the same as it was back then. It was still on the up now, and up then rather. It peaked probably in 2010 ratings wise, and I don't know how they're still in business. So who knows? But my connection, the weather's terrible here lately. Or not terrible. I love it. We're having a heat wave, but it's been causing like storming and connection issues. So I apologize for that.